Singapore is shook. Shook is a Singlish word which means excellent. If you've been following my journey, you already know Singapore is a country I admire a lot. I've said it so many times in my videos. It is a place that inspires me to be a better version of myself. Every time I step foot here, I am reminded of what's possible when leadership, vision, and discipline come together. This is why I try to visit at least once or twice every year. And yet, no matter how many times I come here, Singapore always amazes me all over again.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Singapore Changi Airport, where the local time is 10 minutes past 3 in the afternoon.
Most people visit Singapore and realize how far behind their country is. But for me, whenever I come here, I realize it is light years ahead of my country. I don't think it's just about the buildings, the transport, or the economy. I think it has a lot to do with the mindset, the way things work here, and the sheer efficiency of everything. That is me. But what do other visitors like myself think about this country? How do they see this city that has left such a deep impression on me? To find out, I spoke with a couple of visitors and asked them a simple yet revealing question. As visitors, what do you really think about Singapore? And their answers were fascinating.
Wow, Singapore is something else. Coming from Europe, I've seen many beautiful cities, but this place is on another level.
Singapore. Clean, modern, fast and efficient.
Like I said earlier, this is a country I visit very often, but hearing their perspectives really made me reflect, not just on Singapore, but on where I come from. The first thing that hits you when you land in Singapore, the order, the organization, everything just works perfectly. But let's hear it from others, seeing it from a European perspective.
Wow, Singapore is something else. Coming from Europe, I've seen many beautiful cities, but this place is on another level. Everything is so efficient. Public transport is fast and reliable. The streets are super clean and life just feels so organized. It's modern, but still has so much culture and history. In Europe, we have amazing traditions, but Singapore feels like the future. Everything works perfectly, and people here are so hardworking. I love the energy, the food, and the skyline. It's like a dream city. Honestly, being here makes me see what's possible when a country is well planned.
Singapore. Clean, modern, fast and efficient. The MRT, brilliant. Food, amazing. Chicken rice, laksa, satay. The weather, hot. Laws, strict, but fair. Super safe. Everything works well. People, friendly, but they're always in a bit of a rush. Shopping, expensive. Hawker centres, lifesavers. Would I live here? Maybe. Scotland is home, but Singapore, it's pretty impressive. No complaints.
This is Ghana, all the way in West Africa, more than 7,000 miles from Singapore. And let me tell you, things here are very different. While Singapore runs like a well-oiled machine, out here it is a whole other vibe. It is raw, it is real, and it is nothing like what you'll see in a place like Singapore. While Singapore is famous for its order, efficiency, and high-tech systems, Ghana and most parts of Africa are still figuring things out, especially in the rural parts. people face real challenges every day, from poor roads to unreliable electricity and access to clean water. It is a whole different reality. This footage is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. I filmed this in Ghana, a country rich in natural resources, gold, oil, cocoa, yet many communities still struggle with basic infrastructure, sanitation, and waste management. What you see here might seem just like a dirty drainage system, but it goes beyond that. It is actually a symptom of poor leadership, mismanagement, and lack of accountability. I don't think this is an issue of poverty. I think it's an issue of priorities and choices. The resources are there, the potential is limitless, yet basic necessities like proper drainage and water disposal are neglected. Contrast this with Singapore, a nation with no natural resources. Yet, through vision, discipline, and leadership, it built one of the cleanest and most developed societies in the world. Ghana and many other African nations have far more wealth in terms of resources. Yet images like this remain common because corruption, inefficiency, and lack of long-term planning continue to hold the continent back. Now look at this, the Singapore River. Clean, well-maintained, and flowing through the heart of the city without a single piece of trash in sight. It is hard to believe these two places exist on the same planet. While in Ghana, drains are often choked with rubbish, here in Singapore, even the water tells a story of discipline, planning, and care. This is exactly why I admire Singapore. It shows that development is not a fantasy, it is a choice. Until Africa starts making better choices, scenes like this will sadly remain the norm. And let me tell you, as someone coming from Africa, seeing this for the first time was honestly surreal. Back home, rivers and drains are often clogged, forgotten, or just left to deal with the overflow of life. But here in Singapore, it is like the river is part of the city's heartbeat. It is clean, calm, well-lit, and feels like a place people actually care about. I remember standing there, watching the boats pass by, the skyline reflecting off the water like glass, and I knew I had to try it. So I hopped on one of the famous Singapore River cruises, and I highly recommend it to anyone visiting this city. It costs just about $28 for adults, and the ride lasts around 40 minutes. But trust me, it is worth every cent. As the boat slowly made its way down the river, I couldn't stop looking around. On one side, the colorful Clarke Quay, which I recommend you visit. On the other side, the towering modern architecture of Marina Bay Sands, the Fullerton Hotel, and the Merlion, all lined up like a movie set. It is one of those moments where you just sit back and smile to yourself, thinking, wow, this place really works. And it's not just tourists like me. The boat was full of families, including Singaporean families, with their kids pointing at buildings, laughing, asking questions. There was a sense of peace, pride, and belonging. And that really hit me. In many parts of Africa, a river cruise like this would either be impossible or overlooked. But here, it is something people of all ages enjoy. This just shows how far the country has come. I think sometimes when you live in a place like Singapore, you might get used to all this. The cleanliness, the order, the calm. But coming from outside, this river cruise was a big deal to me. In addition to the cruise being a fun way to explore Singapore, it was also a lesson. A quiet 40-minute journey through what happens when a country invests in its beauty, its people, and its environment. So if you are watching this and planning to visit Singapore, don't skip the river. Take the cruise. See the city from the water. You will leave with more than just photos. You will leave with perspective. If you're planning to explore Singapore, here's the first thing you need to know. The MRT is your best friend. Seriously, whether you're staying for a few days or a few weeks, the MRT will take you almost everywhere you want to go, and it will do it smoothly, quickly, and without any stress. Singapore's MRT system is genuinely one of the best in the world, and I don't say that lightly. It is clean, fast, air-conditioned, and incredibly reliable. Trains arrive every few minutes, and delays are almost unheard of. What I love most is how easy it is to use. You don't need to rent a car. You don't need a tour guide. You don't even need to speak the local languages, because all the signs and announcements are in English. Just grab an EasyLink card or use contactless bank card, and you are good to go. From the moment you land at Changi Airport, you can hop on the MRT and start exploring right away. Want to visit Gardens by the Bay or take that iconic photo in front of Marina Bay Sands? Just ride to Bayfront. Want to taste local dishes like chicken rice, laksa or satay at the famous Maxwell Hawker Center? Chinatown Station is your stop. Feeling like relaxing at the beach? East Coast Park is just a short MRT ride and connecting bus away. The entire city is connected like a well-oiled machine. And the best part, it is affordable. You can literally explore the whole country from the charming neighborhoods in the east to the heartlands in the west for just a few Singapore dollars a day. No haggling with taxi drivers. No wasting time in traffic. It is efficient, it is safe, day or night, and it gives you access to both the big attractions and the quiet hidden gems locals love. In many countries, transportation is the most stressful part of the trip. You spend time getting lost, waiting around, or worrying about your safety. But in Singapore, getting around is not just easy. I think it is actually part of the fun. Now that we've seen how Singapore's MRT makes exploring the country a breeze, let's flip the coin and talk about my country, Ghana, and how our public transportation, or honestly, the lack of a proper system, affects tourism. Because the difference is honestly like night and day. In Ghana, the most common way to get around is by shared mini buses that follow general routes. But there's no schedule. There's also no real-time information and definitely no maps. The only thing is a driver and a mate who shouts destinations out of the window. And for locals, we've gotten used to it. But for tourists, it is overwhelming, confusing, and even intimidating. And then there's the yellow, those motorized tricycles that are becoming more and more popular, especially in the northern part of Ghana and parts of the cities. They are colorful, cheap, and honestly, a bit of fun to ride. I even took one recently just to show you the experience. It is bumpy, it is hot, And it is definitely not what you would call organized, but it works for short distances. That said, there's still no safety regulation, no seat belts, and most tourists have no idea how much they should pay. So you are very likely to be overcharged if you are not careful. These systems, the shared minibuses and motorized tricycles, are born out of necessity, not planning. They fill a gap in a country where the government hasn't built a proper transportation network. But from a tourism perspective, it is a challenge. There is no consistency, no signage, and no guarantee you will even get to your destination without a detour, a delay, or a flat tire. Tourists who visit Ghana often end up spending more on private cars or Uber just to avoid the hassle. And this limits how far they can go, especially to places outside the big cities. So while we have beautiful destinations, the lack of reliable transport makes them feel far away, even when they are not. That is what I mean when I say infrastructure affects tourism. If a country wants visitors to come, explore, and fall in love with its people and places, they need to make it easier to move around. Singapore understood that early. Ghana, we are still figuring it out. And to show you the gravity of the situation, this is a footage of a young boy, barely 10 years old, walking miles to school on a road covered in dust under the scorching sun. No school bus, no sidewalks, no proper transportation to get him there safely. Just endless stretches of dirt and heat. Every single day, he makes this journey just to get an education. With everything I've shown about Ghana and Africa, the struggling transport, the unplanned infrastructure, you might think there is nothing good here. But that is not true. Africa has incredible natural beauty, and it is therefore still worth visiting. If you are the kind of traveler who craves realness, culture, and raw beauty, this continent has more than enough to offer. Ghana, for instance, is vibrant, warm, and full of life. But it's not a walk in the park. There are things you need to know before traveling to Africa. Traveling in Ghana or many parts of Africa can be incredibly rewarding, but it comes with its own set of challenges. As a foreigner, expect to be overcharged or even asked for bribes. It is an unfortunate reality rooted in everyday corruption. Negotiation is part of the culture, so bargain with a smile. Having a trusted local guide can help you avoid scams and navigate unfamiliar areas with ease. Don't come looking for luxury. Come for authenticity. Ghana offers rich cultural experiences and unforgettable human connections. Just stay street smart, respectful, and open-minded, and you would likely be met with warmness and hospitality along the way. So would I live in Singapore? Absolutely, if I had the opportunity. It is a country where things work, where the government has built something special. That being said, Ghana and Africa will always be my home. I just wish we did more to improve the continent, to make life easier for the people. What do you think? Have you been to Ghana or Singapore? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it.